and welcome to my video podcast on the first decade-ish of Aquarius season 2025, and welcome to Aquarius season. We are now roughly 4-ish days in, and there's already been a bit happening. The sun moved into Aquarius on the 20th of January and will not exit Aquarius to enter Pisces until the 18th of February. We are beginning the season with not only a little lineup of planets in Aquarius itself, but also a lineup of planets and points in Pisces. And we're currently in a longer term Piscean themed period of time. We're almost one season ahead here. It's like a preview of what Pisces season may have in store at the beginning of February. However, we do have both Mercury and asteroid Pallas entering Aquarius to join the Sun series and Pluto there, adding to the Aquarian energies. And we do have a triple conjunction occurring in Aquarius. We do also have a triple conjunction occurring in Pisces as well, which is also like a warming up to Pisces season when we will have 6 bodies lined up in Pisces. So a heads up, this is Aquarius season and we have strong Aquarian themes, and we also have very strong Pisces themes as well. Now we have several planets and asteroids changing, shifting signs. Mercury actually changes twice. We have 3 planets stationing direct, woohoo, and also 2 planets entering their shadow zones of their upcoming retrogrades. But overall, this is a more progressive, forward-moving energy, which is what Aquarius likes. Aquarius themes are rather different from our previous sun season themes of Capricorn. Capricorn is the preserver, the conservative, and Aquarius is the progressive. Now, Aquarius does actually rule politics itself, and there's a reason that US Inauguration Day falls in Aquarius season. Aquarius rules creative cerebral function, humanitarian issues, yes, politics, humanity, altruism, the collective, ideas, breakthrough science, technology, and also importantly, Aquarius does cover the province of the outcast, the maverick, the outsider, outlier, even the rebel. This is important because Aquarius rules groups, Aquarius rules the collective, and it is also how an individual contributes uniquely to that collective. This is an inclusive energy here with Pluto in Aquarius digging up the discarded, shut down groups and systems within humanity for real scrutiny, for transformation. I did say this back in my Scorpio season podcast last year when Pluto entered Aquarius permanently in November, that people who have felt outcast or excluded could now be feeling possibly more accepted or included, but at least more noticed. I myself am hoping for a bit more press because Aquarius does rule astrology as well, not just because it's an out there topic, but because of the quantum soul and psychological information that we get from using this very specific system of archetypes. Quick note, Sagittarius does also rule astrology because it rules symbolic language and higher meaning. Anyway, the point of me saying this is that, by the by, my Patreon page and possibly Substack is launching during Aquarius season, so keep an eye out. My normal full moon and new moon podcast videos will still be freely available on YouTube, and I will be moving my sun season forecast videos to Patreon from now on. Although probably if there is a particularly significant transit occurring, I'll just be posting it on YouTube as well to help give that information to as many people as possible. I'm making this as affordable as I can for people to make it accessible. And it's really just to enable me the time and freedom to create more astrological work for the people who are really interested and wanting to learn and be more deeply guided by what the current transits have to teach you, both on a mundane level, but also on a soul psychological level. So keep an eye out to check out that Patreon page if you think that that could really benefit you. Now back to Pluto again. So with the sun's first aspect in its Aquarian journey, being that conjunction to Pluto, which is now at 1 degree of Aquarius, this makes Aquarius season more intense from now on. So this happened on the 21st of January, one day after the sun's ingress into Aquarius on the 20th. And what is important here is that this is now an annual event. The sun will conjunct Pluto in Aquarius every year during Aquarius season for the next roughly 19 years. This is an ongoing evolution of the ego consciousness, but in terms of, in Aquarius, the identification with freedom and being empowered through freedom. Now, freedom comes in many forms, from many avenues, so this is broad, but Pluto is an outer planet affecting the collective, so it will affect us all at an individual level quite differently and personally. This is the energy of the acceleration of the psyche by going deep. This is the dark, smoldering, magnetic, compelling, so-called black sun Pluto meeting the bright, shining, creative, expressive, conscious sun. So our sun is merging its light with the depths. And in Aquarius, this is the caverns of the mind, the deep places of our cerebral creative potential. This is powerful ideas, powerful friendships, because Aquarius is about friends, groups, and friendships, identifying perhaps with a soul tribe or a group of people or a friend that is of like mind. This can be about the family that you choose. And with this sun conjunction to Pluto, it is an empowering of the mind, and it is through the realization that something must first be shed for your creative mind to express freely, because Pluto asks us to destroy or end something in order to begin anew. So friendships could, on the flip side, be ending. Associations with certain parts of communities could be ending. This is to make energetic space for you to click with something or someone that matches your frequency. This is ending what is already faulty or outdated in order for you to progress in a more empowered, connected, and enlightened way. This could be, because it's the sun, an ego death of some kind, or the end of an identification with something. So also any ideas or connections made around the time that the sun conjuncts Pluto, which will happen at a slightly different time in Aquarius season each year, because Pluto moves very slowly. So next year it will be conjunct between 2 to 4 degrees, and the year after it will be between 5 and 7 degrees. So this is an ongoing evolution of all of these themes. And any ideas or connections made around the time that the sun passes Pluto, they can be deeply profound. So any of these new friends or groups arriving in your life, they're likely to be soul connections, soul tribe people. And so anyone that is not in alignment with your true, unique, individual identity will be likely to be falling away over the coming years. The conjunction is a beneficial aspect, though, even though with Pluto it is always intense. We may be seeing more of what was hidden, buried, or lied about coming to the surface around this time, both personally and collectively, because the sun is shining its conscious light onto these things. And in the sign of Aquarius, this can be about liberty. This can be about humanitarian issues that perhaps society, the collective and humanity as a whole previously didn't know about. And of course, I said Aquarius rules politics. So this time of year could be a time where things that have been going on in politics, local, global, any politics at all, even politics within a workplace, can be coming to light as well. So on this same day, the 21st of January, when the sun conjuncts Pluto, Mars retrograde in Cancer perfects its trine to Juno there in Scorpio. So this is hearkening back to that Cancer full moon that we had on the 14th of January, so about 10 days ago now. when this aspect was in orb and in play with that full moon in a grand trine. So there may be just the last vestiges of emotional work finally easing or flowing after this day. Mars retrograde in Cancer, of course, I feel like a broken record, but Mars is boiling the waters of our feelings, activating history, memories, patterning, family conditioning, unresolved emotions. And he is meeting Juno in Scorpio in this favorable aspect. So this is the energy of allowing you to now make true, powerful commitments, being in right relationship through intimacy and sharing because of this new, healthy, emotional sense of will and drive that you could be forming or moving through in this Mars retrograde period. This is about having your relationships align with your true emotions, your emotional will, and your needs. This is also having healthy intimacy, a sense of trust, and a sense of feeling safe to be vulnerable. Now, an interesting note here is that Mars won't go over this aspect again until the 17th of April because he's retrograde. He makes aspects to planets 1, 2, and then 3 times. And when he makes this aspect again on the 17th of April, which I know is a ways in the future now, but this is just interesting to note, when he trines Juno again, Juno will be going retrograde. So she will be going internally into the depths to find the meaning of true empowerment in relationship at that time. And Mars will proceed to square her after this trine on the 31st of May. So that's a more sticky aspect for relationships, meeting personal will. But we will finally meet up with her again. Mars will conjunct Juno in November, and they will both be in Sagittarius. So things are more likely to be fully resolved and ready to just fly in terms of the activation of whole healthy relationships with belief systems aligned. So this is a journey of Mars and Juno. So this was highlighted as a supportive journey during what was gushing forth at that full moon on the 14th of January, and even still now. And this is a process of discovering how to assert your emotions, Mars in Cancer, to relate in an empowered way, Juno in Scorpio. And this will only gain traction if a healthy emotional drive is maintained. So that's what this time can be about. And this trine overall is, of course, very supportive for that. So moving on, we have an interesting energy with Mercury traveling through Capricorn. So he is actually moving with asteroid Pallas. It's about a 1-week period from the 21st of January to about the 27th. Mercury is very active at this time. So there could be a lot going through your mind, a lot of ideas of in Capricorn of your ambitions, work, career, authority, or even what you're owing responsibility to. So this could be thrown even more into focus during this week between the 21st to 27th-ish of January. And back to that Pallas. Mercury and Pallas are traveling together in Capricorn. Their exact conjunction was on the 22nd of January, but they are traveling close, and so their aspects are echoing each other. So whatever Mercury touches within this time frame, Pallas then comes through afterwards, and she echoes that same transit. So first, Mercury is bringing something to our awareness, bringing something to your mind, to your mental processes to synthesize and integrate, and then Pallas comes through to give you tools, to give you objectivity, to enable you to construct something of it or to manage it in a way that is in alignment with your peace and harmony. Because Pallas is the peacemaker. She was the ancient Greek goddess of wisdom and war, but tactical war. She does not engage in conflict unless all other avenues of diplomacy and problem solving have been exhausted. She was the goddess who first initiated the ritual passing of the olive branch as a symbol of peace, as a symbol of unity. She is the one who, in astrology, sees the patterns, and it sees how you interweave your life with people, things, ideas, ways of being in a manner that follows certain preconditioned patterning. And when we're able to, she helps us break those patterns as well. So first, back on this same day, again on the 21st of January, Mercury squared Chiron in Aries, which Pallas had just done back on the 19th of January and was still in orb of this aspect. So we had this bringing to awareness of a requirement to heal, specifically to heal around your sense of self or identity or assertion and courage. Something could have been communicated that set off a sore spot. So something is required to realign, to bring your sense of self a healthy structure and a sense of objectivity. This could be the challenge to integrate your authentic self into how you communicate and interact with the real world, Capricorn, in work, your public persona. So then Mercury came through, caught up to Pallas in that conjunction on the 22nd of January. So this is a strong mental connection. So this is why I said before as well that your mental processes in your mind could be feeling like they're center stage right now. So this is like these mental processes coming together to function beneficially. This could be like threads connecting, puzzle pieces clicking, probably to do with your ambitions and goals, or even to do with your authority, your duties or responsibilities, because this is in Capricorn. And this is mastery, Capricorn, of the mind. This is making tactical moves, tactical mental moves that directly affect these Capricorn themes in a very masterful way. So then on the 24th of January, Mercury has a double up of aspects. So he first opposes Mars retrograde in Cancer and also trines Uranus retrograde in Taurus at the same time. Pallas comes through and echoes these transits, so makes these same transits on the 27th and then the 29th. So this energy is in play, as I said before, for a few days. It's kind of a week-long period here. So this opposition, firstly, of Mercury to Mars retrograde in Cancer. This can be about feeling something so strongly and not feeling able to integrate it into rational, functional real life. This can be a difficulty in the integration of your emotional will and drive, the difficulty of asserting your needs and feelings with responsible communication of those needs, drives, feelings, etc. So the Mercury and Capricorn part of you may want to be responsible, rational, even cold with whatever you really feel bubbling up here in this Mars retrograde journey. And there is a difficulty there because there may be a mindset of just restricting your emotional assertion because it just isn't done. It just isn't professional, or it isn't polite, it isn't rational. So the balance here is of having responsible boundaries around how you communicate what you need, around how your emotional drive asserts and interacts with others. So Capricorn can be restrictive, yes, but Capricorn also gives you a healthy container, healthy boundaries, healthy structures. So this could be figuring out how to now integrate your newly revived, revamped emotional will with your public parts of your life, like your responsibilities, your duties, your work. And then Pallas coming through, echoing this down the line on the 27th of January could be the unpicking of past habits around how your emotions, especially your subconscious emotional patterning, how that expresses in 3D reality based on prior conditioning. So this patterning could be undergoing a restitch, unpicking the stitches and sewing it back in a way that fits you better, that fits life, your 3D reality better. This is around your healthy emotional assertion and expression, integrating your needs in your real life. Now you've been made aware of them with this Mars retrograded, digging and kicking and screaming everything up. And now Pallas and Mercury in Capricorn are teaching you how to put it into practice, put it into real life. And of course, with Pallas here, this all is around feeding your balance, harmony, and unity as a whole. Now, with this trine from Mercury to Uranus retrograde in Taurus on the same day, on the 24th of January, it is a beneficial aspect, and Pallas echoes this on the 29th of January. So This could be maybe easing some of the tension around the opposition here, giving you the opportunity here to see things differently, to alter what values you thought you had around your needs, because Uranus retrograde here is actually in a sextile aspect to Mars retrograde. So this is a soft, beneficial aspect, opening up a doorway here. It could be like an outlet to the tension this opposition is causing. And Uranus retrograde says, yeah, it's time to change things up here. And what can you benefit by changing how you emotionally assert and express? How can you align your worth, your value to the ways that you communicate your needs? So this is beneficial communication with this Uranus trine Mercury. This is communicating with authority and trusting that you have the authority to communicating for yourself what you require and that you are worth requiring what you require. You deserve to voice your worth, to voice what you need. And because of the Mars retrograde connection, this is tied in with those needs. It really is. And this is healthy emotional expression with healthy boundaries. Again, this opposition to Mercury, it has the potential for heated words, perhaps rules and authority, putting restrictions on what you need. And this trine to Uranus retrograde from Mercury and the sextile to Uranus retrograde from Mars retrograde, it can ease this. And with Pallas here, she's giving you the objectivity, sensibility to think before you act, to think before you speak, to act when necessary, to not fly off the handle, to not fly off the handle when somebody else flies off the handle. So she gives the perspective on how to deal with all of this in a mature way that serves your own peace, your wisdom, and your authority. So this is a process of becoming wiser if you use these energies beneficially and constructively. So amongst all of this, on the 27th of January, Mercury also perfects its trine to the South Node before entering Aquarius on the 28th of January. That's another story for just a moment. Now, because Pallas moves more slowly than Quicksilver Mercury, she won't trine the South Node until later on, down the line on the 11th of February. So the energy of this trine, this aspect, will be echoed in a couple of weeks. I will talk about that in my upcoming Aquarius season podcast videos. This South Node in Virgo is here helping Mercury in Capricorn release old mental structures that do not serve your health, mental health, physical health, any health, especially with spiritual health with that North Node in Pisces. So this is really lending itself in a lovely way to Pallas and Capricorn coming through and echoing Mercury here. So she's the one unpicking the thought structures, the mental barriers, the way that your mentality could perhaps have had difficult expectations, because Capricorn is our ambitions and how we reach them. So Pallas is helping to master your mentality by reworking these mental patterns, mindset, your mental foundations with the South Node connection. Here is it's helping to release what doesn't serve, because that's what the South Node does. And in Virgo, this is about discerning, about discriminating what is working, what is functioning beneficially, what helps you practically in terms of your mindset and mental processes here, and helping that by not allowing negative or cold or judgmental thoughts or ways of being entering into the equation. This is the releasing, of course, of hypercritical thinking with the South Node in Virgo here. This is towards self, others, or the world. So the South Node in Virgo is showing us where we're being unhealthy in that regard. And remember too that the South Node is actually ruled by Mercury right now, because Mercury rules Virgo. So Mercury is the authority here, especially in Capricorn. So this is the requirement to have those strong mental boundaries, healthy mental processes. And that's what this day on the 27th of January is all about. And then on the 11th of February down the line, we could be releasing the old patterning around criticism and unhealthy daily processes when she comes through there. but more about this later when we come closer to that aspect. So the last thing about this Mercury, as I said, he's very active these first few days, this first decan of Aquarius season. Mercury changes signs, entering Aquarius on the 28th of January, and then has a direct conjunction to Pluto in Aquarius at nearly 2 degrees on the 29th of January, which is also the day of the new moon. But I will talk more about that in my new moon video podcast. So Mercury, this is the planet of the mind, now moved into the sign of high mind. And then conjunct the planet of the deep, dark depths. So this is a fast pace here. This is quick thoughts, quick communication, brilliant ideas, brilliant words and communications. This is the acceleration of movement in your daily life. And with Pluto here, this is also powerful communication, profound insights, really incisive thinking, and the bringing to consciousness of things that could previously have been inaccessible. And this is also about being much more highly attuned to the sheer power of the mind. This can also be very cutting words, the ending of communication or connection to something or someone in your daily life, your friend group, even something sibling related, if this is working with you personally. Now, I just got the random message that it is important to ensure that you are getting enough salts at this time. So salt is grounding for strong Aquarian energies. You can, of course, have too much salt intake, but in terms of electrolytes and minerals that your body requires for metabolism and mental acuity, this is really important during this time. This is also to stabilize your everyday functioning because all processes are accelerated with Mercury in Aquarius, with the Sun, with Pluto, with Ceres, with that new moon coming up on the 29th of Aquarius. Grounding is vital here because if you aren't grounded, your brilliant ideas, ideals, wishes, they won't gain traction in reality. So by physically grounding and helping to maintain those healthy currents in the body by having that healthy ionic balance, because Aquarius is about electricity, and of course it rules the ionic balance to an extent in the body. So having that healthy balance can help remove excess friction or tension or just that flyaway energy that is part of having a strong air signature and especially strong Aquarius. So this is drinking enough water and ensuring that you're replacing not only the water that you release or sweat out, but also the ions that go with it. So this is getting enough salt, maybe adding a bit of lemon to your water, not too frequently, that degrades your tooth enamel, even drinking coconut water, being more aware of or sensitive to electromagnetic frequency. Sorry, I'm speaking slowly. This is just coming in. So being more sensitive to electromagnetic frequencies can really occur with the strong Aquarian energy. So it's healthy now. Well, it's always healthy, but especially in Aquarius season, it's healthy whenever possible to remove the screen, remove the Wi-Fi, remove the computer, laptop, internet, phone, everything. The digital detox can really have that helpful grounding and clarifying effect here as well. And with the strong Aquarian energies, it's so easy and so natural to just connect and be swept along in this progressive tide of increasing technology. And that's fine, but it is also necessary to detach, which is a very Aquarian word, to detach and to center, to get those healthy boundaries up for your brain, for your mentality, for your body to recoup and reground before flying off again. So having that lifeline to your balanced, healthy body and mind can be extremely beneficial here during Aquarius season. Now, just to backtrack a little bit, now that I've finished up with that very active and ongoing Mercury energy, On the 26th of January, the cosmic lovers, Venus and Mars retrograde, make a flowing beneficial trine. So this occurs in water signs. So Venus in Pisces and Mars retrograde, of course, in Cancer. This is a sensitive, caring, very feeling aspect. And there is a strong sense here with Pisces and Cancer of nostalgia and romanticism. Important, Venus will be going retrograde on the 2nd of March. I will talk about that later on. She moves from Aries back into Pisces, and she is in fact entering her shadow zone. That is to say that she enters the first degrees through which her retrograde period will take her on the 29th of January. So any aspect that she makes after the 29th of January, she will be going over again. Now, this trine to Mars retrograde is kind of special because it's not in her retrograde zone, but because Mars is in retrograde, it is in his retrograde zone. So they will be meeting up in this aspect again for 3 times in total. So this flowing energy is an ongoing theme here. Now, Venus makes this trine to Mars again all the way down on the 6th of April at 25 degrees of Pisces in Cancer, and at that time Mars will be direct. By the time she makes her third pass to Mars, both of them will be in fire signs. This is even further down the track again on the 22nd of May. This will be at 16 degrees of Aries and Leo. So rewind back now to the 26th of January. This is the beginning of this series of flowing energies that is about union. And it doesn't have to be romantic or relational, but there are strong love themes here, especially by the time Mars is in courtly, romantic Leo again at that final trine down in May. But basically, whatever emotional connections you're making around the 26th of January, this can be emotional connections within self, the integration of yin and yang within. This can be connections to a pursuit or a project or a personal passion. Yes, this can be to a person. This is any emotional connection is really enhanced at this time. Because it's a trine and it's a flowing aspect, it's not a tense aspect, you have to be conscious of it to be working with it and to have it present in your life. So being aware of this very high vibe connection can really be enhancing any emotional connections that you're making in your life at this time. Through these connections, your connection to your soul self, your source self with Venus in Pisces can be opened, especially because of the extremely strong and potent Pisces energies that we're already in and will be moving into even more strongly in about a month's time. This is high love, unconditional love. This is loving your emotions, feelings, and needs with Mars retrograde in Cancer. This is also a healing aspect because Pisces heals and Venus in Pisces heals with love. This Mars retrograde journey hasn't been an easy one. It's bringing up history, emotional issues, shame, anger. This can be being soothed now with this aspect, soothed through love with this trine. It's through this healing journey here that you're truly connecting to your inner emotional world via your higher self with Venus and Pisces connecting here. You're connecting to your inner emotional world via your connection to the divine, whatever that means for you, because through unconditionally loving those raging, unresolved, historical parts of you, there is that sense of wholeness that comes from that, and that is divine. So this is healing emotional connection on all levels. This is a flow between that inner primal self and that higher self. This is the flow that comes from love and a conscious feeling that these two are always in union, your inner and your higher self. It might not always feel like they're in union at times, but this is when you're working with this is the conscious feeling that your inner world and your higher divine soul self are always united and they are always keeping you safe. Now, This could be a process also of acceptance or forgiveness, whichever word you choose to vibe with. I know some people don't like using the word forgiveness because that perpetuates the idea of polarity. So whatever word suits you the best, this can be a forgiveness of or an acceptance of the past, a forgiveness or acceptance of what was, and how through that you are able to feel more strongly. You are able to feel more connected and more whole. This is happening again on the 6th of April when Mars is direct. So we could at that time then feel more able to express love by that time, to express emotions in a loving way. Then by the time the third and final trine happens on the 22nd of May, this is that true, fiery, passionate love with a purpose. But I will talk more about that closer to the day. So I will leave this here, I think. So we're up to the day of the new moon in Aquarius on the 29th of January. So this will be occurring at 9 degrees 51 minutes of Aquarius, and it will be squaring asteroid Vesta and trining Jupiter retrograde in Gemini. Now, I will touch on this in my next Aquarius season podcast video, which will be posted on Patreon, so keep an eye out. But I will also be making a new moon podcast video for YouTube as usual. So until then, thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoy listening to my astrology as much as I enjoy creating it. Please remember to keep an eye out for that Patreon if that's something that you're interested in. In the meantime, thank you again and enjoy these fascinating, scintillating Aquarian energies. Ciao.